Hello everyone, bit of an update. I've been hobbying quite a lot despite the hot weather and the football, but as usual spreading my attentions very kind of widely and therefore not getting very much completed that I can show you. But if you remember, I was painting up the contents of this box, which is an old, I think it's 2006 according to the bases, an old metal and resin group of 15mm figures and models from Battlefront for the use in the Flames of the War set of rules. And as I said on a past video long ago, I managed to drop the contents of this box and break a lot of them and scatter all the pieces all over the floor, but I have now managed to kind of assemble and put together the contents of one of these, and there are four of these in the box. So I'll show you what I've got done so far on that first of all. Right, here we are then. So this is everything I've finished so far. So the contents of that first sort of blister pack. Some of it you've seen before. I should explain as well that I said it was from Battlefront for Flames of War, obviously, but I'm painting it up to use in the game of O Group, and most of this isn't going to be isn't going to see a lot of the game. It's all a little bit kind of superfluous or surplus to my requirements for the game. But what I don't want to do is just pick out the contents of that box that I can use in O Group, because if I do that, then the rest of it's just going to get left unpainted forever now. So I want to go through the entire box, you know, in order of the blister boxes, and do it that way, get it all finished, knock it on the head. Right, so as I say, some of this you've seen before, but I'll just zoom in a little bit and go through it all in a little bit more detail. So probably won't focus very well on the figures at the front there. So I've got 5 bases now with infantry figures on them. So in O Group it's battalion level game, so 3 bases make up a section, 3 sections make up a company, and 3 companies make up the battalion. So a long way to go on infantry, but that's probably what I'll concentrate on next, get them out of the box. I've got 2 88mm guns now, whereas I only had 1 to show you before. So I think I've shown you, yeah, that one before, so this is the fresh one. Again, in O Group I have seen some orders of battle that do include 1 88 in a Panzer Grenadier battalion, but not 2, so whether I just have to use 1 as the sort of artillery marker on the side of the table or not, I don't know. And then on the subject of 88s as well, I've also got now 2 half tracks pulling some 88s along. These models I don't think are any longer available from Battlefront. On their website they certainly don't have them, and on the photographs on the covering of the box they don't include them either, interestingly. So I don't know what happened. I know long time ago Battlefront switched from metal to plastic anyway, so whether they just drop them at that stage. But they're a little bit odd. I can't. There's meant to be a sort of, you know, one of the two of the legs, the side legs that sort of rotate down, pivot down, to form the basis of the gun. You know, the sort of stand of the gun are either missing or they were never produced in the first place. I suspect they were never produced in the first place. So they're missing a kind of component, really. It's possible that I lost them during that event I was telling you about, but I seem to have scooped up everything else and put it back in the box, and I just can't find those legs anywhere. So they might turn up in the future. Again, not sure in the rules for O group whether you know, whether there is a need to show guns in motion or not, but I've got them anyway. They're painted up and they're done. At the back there, I won't zoom in too closely on those tanks. I've had those painted up for a long time. Showed them to you in the last video. And then finally I've got a couple of little utility vehicles almost, but I'm going to use these again. These will come in handy in O group, but not in a particularly important way. I'm going to use them as combat patrol markers. So there's a little field vehicle there, and then a sort of motorbike and sidecar. So they're both going to represent combat patrol markers rather than just putting tokens down on the table. So they're going to be useful, aesthetically pleasing, if not you know, an integral part of the game. So that is virtually everything that I've got completely painted to show you. I don't want to show you, as I said, I have been painting up lots of other stuff, but I don't want to show you half completed things. But I have made a few purchases and acquisitions, so I think I'll go on and show you those now. Okay, this is the first of the acquisitions that I've made recently. This arrived in the post from the States about a week ago. I did order it quite a long time ago, and had to kind of prompt the company, but I think that's understandable. I'll explain what's going on in a minute. But this may not look very impressive, but I can assure you this is really exciting and absolutely immense. How this all started, and this is sort of a problem I'm having with my channel at the moment. As you know, you probably know, I've now got a 3D printer, and that's keeping me really busy. But it's also relighting old enthusiasms, or inspiring me towards yet more new projects. But one of the Kickstarter that I joined in recently was I forgot what it's called. It's basically the company this company that do Kickstarters for World War One battleships, and they had already brought out it's called Broadside, and they had already brought out a Kickstarter called Empires of Steel, which was about a year or so ago, and that was all the ship models for Great Britain, for Germany, for the USA, and one other country. Apologies, I can't remember what it was now. But just recently they had another Kickstarter called the Three Crowns, if I remember rightly, and that was, the Three Crowns were Austria-Hungary, so one kingdom, one country in a way, but two crowns, and the other was Italy. And this of course immediately provoked me into wanting to print some of these models and play games with them. So this, I don't normally show you things that are unpainted, but this is a model of the Derflinger. So what I printed, this is from the original Empires of Steel, which I got sort of as a back offer, retro offer, when I joined the Kickstarter for the Three Crowns. So at the moment I printed off all of the battle cruisers for the Battle of Jutland. So it's basically Beatty versus Hipper. And that includes the 4 Queen Elizabeth class dreadnoughts that Beatty had under his command, but didn't make particularly good use of. I'm just going to pause the video for a second because I just want to check something on the internet before I carry on. Yeah, the thing I just wanted to check was the price. This is a 1/500, so 1 to 1,500 scale model. To buy this commercially from Wartime's Journal, do a model, it would cost me $38.25, and then of course I'd have to pay postage from across the States. And I think this model is as good as anything that I've ever purchased from Wartime's Journal, but at a fraction of the price, obviously. That's not to say that I would recommend getting a 3D printer in order to save money, because even with fantastic kind of cost differences like this, I don't think it necessarily does save you money in the long run. In terms of ship models, you probably would save money because part of the price that commercial companies charge includes the sort of factor that they're not going to sell a great many of the models, so that bumps the price up. If they were selling them in bulk, then they would be a lot cheaper. But I am really pleased with this. I don't want to talk too much on that subject because I want to save that for my sort of 3D playlist. But anyway, back to this. So I play a lot of Sea Krieg 5, as you know. It's not everybody's cup of tea. It appears to be very highly detailed, which it is, but also therefore highly cumbersome to play, which it isn't. And that's what I like about it. It's a very kind of accurate portrayal of naval warfare from the 1880 up to 1945. Now I've got on CD they do fantastic job at producing play sheets for every ship in every navy between the period 1880 to 1945, and I already had all the CDs that they had brought out. So that's Germany, Great Britain, the USA, Japan, Italy. I've got them in front of me here. So France is another one. Did I say USA? I think I did. So I've got the whole gamut of what they produce. But at the time, they were talking about bringing out the same CDs for the minor navies of the world, and it was an immense task, and you could tell they were getting a little bit tetchy with people when they went past the date that they thought they would be able to have it produced by. People were beginning to irritate them and bug them. When's it coming out? When's it coming out? And I thought they'd just given up, because they definitely went into a kind of quiet period. They still have something called the Sea War store, but they definitely went a little bit quiescent, and I didn't think it ever appeared. But obviously with the purchase of these 3D files for Austria-Hungary, I was quite keen to get hold of similar data for the Austro-Hungarian Navy. So I thought I'd look on their website again, the Seawar store again, and see if they did ever bring it out. And this is it. Not on CD form now, but on a data stick, a memory stick. But here it is, Sea Creek 5, Naval Warfare 1880 to 1945. And I don't know whether it actually says on the inside. No, it doesn't, but this is minor navies of the world. So I just can't describe how thrilling it is to have this. It's not just Austria-Hungary, which is the sort of pertinent one for the moment, so I can start to print out models for the naval war in the Adriatic during World War One now. But this is, remember, from 1880 to 1945, and I made a list of all the countries that are on here. So you've got Argentina, Austria-Hungary, Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, Chile, China, Colombia, Cuba, Denmark, Ecuador, Estonia, Finland, Greece, Haiti, Latvia, Mexico, Netherlands, Norway, Paraguay, Persia, Peru, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Siam, Spain, Sweden, Turkey, Uruguay, Venezuela and Yugoslavia. So this is a naval war gaming geek's dream come true to have all this. Really thrilling. In particular, a war that I've always been interested in wanting to war game, never got round to, is the Sino-French war in the 1880s, which had a couple of fairly significant naval battles. But of course, and also the South American navies, such as Bolivia. Did they have Bolivia? No, they didn't. Brazil, and so on. You know, there was some naval actions between some of the South American countries during their wars. So, you know, it opens up a whole new world of wargaming possibilities, and I'm really thrilled about that. But not much to show you visually at the moment, which is why I thought I'd offer you this unpainted model to look at. So that's one thing. Okay, I'll probably make this the last thing I want to show you. I bought a couple of Osprey books yesterday using a gift voucher I'd been hanging on to. This one, not really relevant to anything I'm doing at the moment, but I have got some 15mm sort of Imperial Roman figures, so I saw this in the bookshop, thought I'd get hold of it. But this is another 3D inspired project, which is going to be yet another new project. I purchased a set of files, another Kickstarter for a thing called Hannibal versus Rome, and they were a set of figures in either 6mm or 10mm or 15mm, but rather like the Europe Asunder Napoleonic figures that you may have seen reviewed on various YouTube channels recently. They are a little bit toy soldierish, a bit sort of chunky. I mean, that's an inevitability, and again, I don't want to spend too long talking about this in this particular video, because I will do on a future 3D themed playlist video. That is an inevitability really of the 3D printing process, that you're going to get figures that are designed to be printed without the use of supports, and are therefore, especially in 6mm, which is tiny, you know, it's impossible really to, or not impossible, but it's very hard to print a 6mm figure if it does require supports, because the supports are often stronger than the parts of the figure that you're attaching the support to. So everything has to be printed in a way that doesn't require supports. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that. But I thought I would invest in this Hannibal versus Rome. So it's an earlier period than my Roman figures at the moment, and it's a complete set of figures that you would need to play a battle. So it's got Carthaginians, Iberians, Gauls, Romans, everything you want, elephants, cavalry, the works. It's all there. So I thought I would, as I am beginning to get interested in 6mm wargaming with the Grumbler Miniatures 100 Days campaign figures, which I much prefer. I have to say I much prefer the aesthetic style of those metal figures over 3D printed ones such as Europa Sunder. Not that there's anything wrong with the Europa Sunder, and had Grumbler not been around, I might have invested in them. But I thought I'd give this another ancient period a go in 6mm, see how I get on with it. So I purchased this just as a bit of an idea on how to paint up the figures and so on, and that's what I'm going to be doing. But again, I'm not going to show you those until I've got something printed, and then probably have a look at them on a video in my 3D printing playlist rather than the wargaming playlist. But anyway, looking forward to that. Right, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about on this video, so thanks very much for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye for now.